Welcome back to the Stick 'em Up podcast. Burundi, we are, for those listening at home and listening soon after this comes out, we are recording this on the morning of the Friday instead of later on the Thursday, like we often do. And it's a good thing we did because we got quite a bit of news actually coming out this morning around the NHL. Uh, the biggest one being I don't even know if we need to lead into it. I feel like this is an important one to get off the top, but Connor Hellebuyck, seemingly out of nowhere, is out 4 to 6 weeks undergoing a minor knee procedure. What are your thoughts on this for the Jets?
Um, I mean, obviously it's not good, right? Like if you have he's won the last two Vesnas, won the Hart
Back to
last
back?
year, and he's already out. It's obviously not a great start, of the season for the Jets, but I think they'll be okay. I mean, Eric Comrie is a fine backup. I think he can get the job done. Um, but again, yeah, losing Hellebuck for this long is not ideal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's obviously not what any Jets fan wanted to wake up today and hear coming from their team, but it does sound like it's a relatively minor procedure as far as, as far
Yeah.
as knee surgeries can go. Um, 4 to 6 weeks isn't too bad. It sounds like he should still be back with plenty of time to get prepared for the Olympics as well. So
Yeah, which is kind of a big thing when, you kind of look at injuries for players is it going to affect them going to the Olympics? And, thankfully for the Americans, I mean, it sounds like Austin Matthews is going to be okay. Like I know he's kind of got always something going on. The Jack Hughes thing, he'll be back in time. Hellebuck, he'll be back in time. So, because again, those are kind of three big pieces for them.
yeah,
So it sounds like everything's okay on that. And for Winnipeg, I mean, again, it's kind of just trying to hold on. Uh, Thankfully, they're kind of in an okay spot because Minnesota's having a rough start to the year. St. Louis, the same thing. Nashville is running it back from last year, and Chicago most likely won't maintain the way that they're playing over the entire season.
yeah, they're getting insane career years out of both Bedard and underratedly Spencer Knight, who has frankly been one of the best goalies in the NHL up until this point. And
Yeah,
you know, we'll see. Like that Spencer Knight trade has insane potential to be like one of the best trades in recent memory for both sides. Like Spencer Knight might be their starter for the next decade in Chicago, and the Panthers won their second cup with Seth Jones. Like,
playing a big role, and they got him there for the next while. So yeah, that's a trade that already is looking pretty good
like a
for
huge
both
win-win.
sides.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we'll keep tabs on Connor Hellebuck and see when he returns, and we'll see how the Jets can hang on without him. A little bit more talk of the Jets here. This one was kind of expected, but now we know that it is confirmed. The Winnipeg Jets extending their captain Adam Lowry. Very simple, 5x5, $5 million per
Yeah.
year for 5 years. What are your thoughts here on Adam Lowry staying in Winnipeg?
How old is Adam Lowry? Is he like 33?
It's a good question. Let me find out here.
Yeah, because
I think 32.
it's not a ton of money, right? Like, and he's obviously their captain, but he's not, he's not the Crosby captain. He's the he's a lot closer to a Jordan Stahl, a Michael Backlund. He's that.
He'll be 33 at the start of next year. He turns 32 in March, or 33 in March. Sorry.
Okay, so it's not a crazy long deal. Decent money, but you know, the cap's very likely going to go up more than 5 mil alone
Yeah.
this next off season. So yeah, I think that's great value for the Jets, especially when this guy is a heart and soul guy. Like everyone loves him. Like it feels like for a lot of these teams, that have a captain like that, there's often a lot of like, sure, uh, Jordan Stahl, he's a good captain, but like wouldn't it be nice if Sebastian Aho was the captain or Jacob Slavin? Like it really doesn't feel like that's ever been a conversation in Winnipeg, despite having these Kyle Connors, the Mark Scheifele's of the world. So, uh, yeah,
Yeah,
I think he's just been such a solid captain for him that if he's willing to take this, there's no reason to think twice about it.
yeah, he's a born and raised leader, and like you said, cap's going up probably in 2 to 3 years. Very good chance that a third line center is going to be around this 5 million mark. And again, when you look at everything Adam Lowry does, just all across the game and even off the ice, it's a no brainer for Winnipeg to keep him around. And 5 by 5, maybe by the end of it, it's going to look bad, but again, the cap's going to go up and whatnot. So
Yeah,
I don't think this is going to be a big worry for Winnipeg. And again,
no,
yeah, you don't ever want to lose your captain. And again, it just further proves our point that the Winnipeg does a pretty good job at keeping guys around for the most part. Because the next bit of news goes against that, but that's a little bit of a different story there.
yeah, you know what? That's fair, and we'll get right into that as well because we got a lot of Jets news. The Jets are giving Brad Lambert permission to, I think, permission for his agent to go out and see if he can find a trade for the team.
Yeah, him and his group to kind of see if they can find a trade. And then we might as well just throw this one in here as well. Anaheim Ducks defenseman Pavel Mintyukov would like a trade out of Anaheim if he is not going to play. And now, at the time of this recording, this is updated. He was a healthy scratch the last 3 games. So potential for Brad Lambert and Pavel Mintyukov to both be on their way out. Brad Lambert was drafted 30th overall in the 2022 draft, and Mintyukov was the 10th overall pick in that draft. Lambert only 10 NHL games played, 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points. Mintyukov, great rookie year, 149 games played, 50 points, 9 goals, 41 assists.
I thought you meant it as just his rookie year. I was like, holy
Oh,
shit,
no.
149 games. He's crazy.
So both of these two young players potentially on the move. What are your thoughts here?
I always think it's interesting, especially with the Brad Lambert one, because they're like giving the agent the opportunity to go out and basically seek a trade, and it's crazy because I've heard in a couple different interviews and talk pieces with agents that they're a lot of the times, like if their guy wants out, it's not the GM being like, fine, I'll find a trade. It's the agent who has to like reach out to other GMs and basically broker and complete the deal and then go to the GM and get it signed off on. Like it's crazy how often agents are actually kind of making a lot of these trades.
Yeah, it's a good point.
But I think there's a huge chance that some team is going to luck into Mintyukov or Lambert and get them for an absolute steal when their value isn't super high. You know, they're not looking
Yeah.
fantastic right now. That, you know, their respective teams aren't giving them much playing time, or in Mintyukov's case, are just healthy scratching them. Like
Mm-hmm.
this could be a
Well, and
huge buy
it's
low
worth
moment.
noting that neither of these players have necessarily requested a trade. So there is that. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like they actively are demanding out or anything.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah, I
feel like
think.
any bridges are burnt on in either of these
Yeah,
situations yet.
no, and it's again, it's one of those things where they're both good players, but we are starting to kind of see more of a shift in the NHL now, especially with younger players where, and this isn't the case with all of them. And I'm not even necessarily saying it's the case with these two, but a lot of young players are feeling that they don't need to earn their ice time. It's given to them. We've seen that with numerous players, younger
Yeah.
players in the past, specifically out of Winnipeg, Rucker McGorty, who, and, even Isaac Howard with Tampa Bay, where they want out because they're not being given playing time when they haven't really earned it. like Brad Lambert has looked decent in games with Winnipeg, but again, Winnipeg's a tough lineup to crack.
They just won
Pavel
the
Mintyukov
Presidents.
had a great rookie year, but then all of a sudden he's now been passed over by Jackson Lacoma's passed over him, Olin Zellweger's passed over him. I think it's Ian Moore who's getting looks on the blue line over him, and so it's one of those things where do you just demand a trade to then what do? You go somewhere else and just be expected to be given ice time, or are you going to go there and work for it, earn it? And if you don't, then if you become a healthy scratch there, then do you demand a trade out of there? It's a tough kind of line to cross with these younger players where if you get that trade and you get moved out, you can't just demand another trade now. You could potentially be in the same spot just on a different team, a team that's not as familiar with your game necessarily, and you kind of don't already have that inside scoop. You're now a younger guy coming in and trying to make that impact. So again, I'm not saying it's the case with these guys, but it's kind of a trend that we have seen over the past few years where some younger players want to be given all these opportunities, but their play doesn't necessarily warrant it on some nights. And so, it's a league where every team wants to win. They want to put themselves in the best spot. They want to put their players in the best spot. And if you're not cutting it, I mean, why would they, why would they throw you in the lineup if other players have been doing better and been earning those spots over here?
I don't get the impression that is happening as much with Mintyukov. I'm not sure about Lambert. But Mintyukov, because I don't know if Lambert's being healthy scratched or in the minors, but Mintyukov's being healthy scratched.
He started with the Jets. Yeah, it was a healthy scratch. How many games did he end up playing this year? I think only 4. Yeah, he only played 4, and then he's been sent down to the AHL. But again, Pavel Mintyukov has only been a healthy scratch 3 games. That's
true.
Not...
It's only been 3 games, but what? He's on a 2-way contract, right?
I believe so. I believe he's eligible for an extension right now. So I think he's still on his ELC.
Yeah, I just feel like they should, if they're going to be healthy scratching this young player with all this promise, he's sitting there just send me to the minors if you're not going to play me. At least I could be playing 25 minutes a night with the San Diego Gulls, and instead in the press box again.
But again, it's earning your way back into the lineup. It's not I'm a healthy scratch instead of hiking my boots up and getting to work and getting back in the lineup. Just get me out of here then. Again, it's one of those things where it's tough to tell because you never fully know what's going on with the player, the team, the situation, everything. But again, it's only 3 games. We've seen this happen with numerous players already this season, and again, it's up to the player to decide: do you want to put in the work to get back in the lineup here, or do you just want to get out and then go somewhere? Because there's potential. Mintyukov could go to, you kind of look at it. He's probably got to go to a pretty shit team to get lots of ice time, right?
In the NHL.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't think his sights are set on, I'm just going to go down to the AHL now. He obviously wants to be playing in the NHL as all these guys do.
Yeah, just the way it's worded with him not him wanting a trade if he's not going to play really kind of says to me maybe
but that's pretty early after
okay
because it was only
playing
2 games
in the AHL
originally. It is 3 games now, but at the time when the news came out, it was literally 2 games.
Yeah,
he was a healthy scratch. If it gets to the point where it's I've been a healthy scratch, I'm gonna go 7 or 8 games. Then maybe trade, but it's only 2 games.
I guess, but my argument is it shouldn't even be 1. What does it do for him? It's not like they're one of these teams
because he's been passed over. What do you make Jackson Lacombe or Zellweger?
No, send him to the minors. Send him to the freaking minors. They're not the LA Kings where their minor team guys have to go to Ontario to go play, right? It's Anaheim and San Diego.
But he's their, he's one of their still better defensemen. And if you go on a road trip, if a guy gets injured, you'd rather have Mintyukov come to the lineup than potentially some guy who's just been a career AHL guy or something.
True, but he'd rather play 24
Because again,
minutes a night in the minors than not play at all. Like, he's not going to get better on the bench. So
sure you can.
From
numerous
that,
players get better
from
being a
that
healthy
standpoint,
scratch,
I've seen it.
watching from the press box and still being with the team, still work with the team, learning with the coaches, all there, guys. There's numerous guys that have been healthy scratch for a few games, and then they're back up and they look way better. How many young players did we see last year that were, Leo Carlson on nights with a healthy scratch? Will Smith, I think Adam Fantilli was at times. Like, sometimes young players have to go through it, and
but those guys all have more skill that when those happen than Mintyukov has.
More
now,
skill, yes, but like Mintyukov is still very effective in terms of, I think he's kind of a bit more of a defensive defenseman, not like fully on that. But if he wants to continue being an Anaheim Duck, that's kind of the role that is going to be expected of him at this point, is to be a third pair shutdown guy. Because again, the Ducks have so many young defensemen, he kind of keeps getting
a lot of them
overtaken by these guys. I mean, you've already given Jackson Lacombe, an 8x9, so you're kind of forced to run with him as your number one guy.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know the full situation, but
yeah, we're extrapolating a lot.
Goes along with the theme that we've seen over the past few years from these young players.
Yeah, I'm just always leery because I never like bashing the player when they just want to freaking play the game.
Well, I'm not bashing the player, but
no.
It's again, like at the time it was only 2 games.
Yeah, and it's such a razor thin line when you're talking, because we're not there, right? We can only talk about what's reported, and it's so hard to see the difference sometimes. What it is between, a guy being like, I'm being healthy scratch, I just want to play, versus, Isaac Howard didn't even have an ELC signed yet. And he's saying, well, trade me if you're not going to promise me top 6 minutes. And it's like, you haven't even signed the thing. So, like, it's...
No, absolutely. Like, I totally get that. I'm just on the thing of, sometimes if you're a younger player, you got to take your lumps. And again, the ice time shouldn't just be given to you. Like, it's earned. It's a privilege to play in the NHL. So just because you've been like what the last 2 years he played 63 games and then 68. So pretty good for young defensemen. But again, just because of that.
Yeah, so it's not like he's trying to break into the NHL for the first time or anything. Like,
well, and that's the thing. It's it's different from Brad Lambert, where he keeps kind of trying, and it's just it's not working in Winnipeg. So it's like, if there's a chance somewhere else, they're going to take advantage of it.
And I think that's just good business.
So they're kind of
frankly, like he's on one of the deepest teams in the league. Like, it's going to be hard for him to get into the lineup. And I mean, I'm sure they would love to be able to make room for him, but it's hard to find room for these young, skilled players when you're looking to win a cup. Like, they're looking to win cups now, and if he's not the best option, he's not going to play. It's as simple as that.
Well, and it's very different between the two. And this is the last thing I'll say on it is Mintyukov is like perfect to be a third pairing, kind of maybe more two-way guy for the Ducks if they want him. Whereas Brad Lambert doesn't really fit as well into like a bottom 6 role. Like, he's kind of got the skill and whatnot that you'd want.
He's one of those offensive guys who needs to be in a top 6, or like at minimum a scoring third line. Like,
and on Winnipeg, that's
locked up.
It's tough.
Yeah,
there was an opening with Ehlers leaving, but again, they've got so many guys that it's tough to crack that lineup.
Yeah. But we can move on from that. I guess before we fully do you see either of these guys moving sometime soon, do you think?
I don't think Mintyukov gets moved, at least if he does, it'll be around the trade deadline. I could see a Brad Lambert trade anytime at this point, I think.
Okay, that's basically
I think if the
exactly how I feel with
Jets,
it. Yeah.
if there's a deal that makes sense for him and the Jets can get something back, I mean, they didn't waste any time when Rutger McGroarty wanted out. They made quick work of moving him out. I think Winnipeg's kind of got a thing of, yeah, if you don't want to be here, like we'll gladly send you out, but we're only gonna we're gonna wait until it's a deal that actually makes sense for us.
Yeah.
So I think if they find a deal that works for Lambert and Winnipeg's can get a good return, yeah, I think they'll have no problem pulling the trigger and giving him a chance elsewhere.
Yeah. I completely agree. I definitely think that's pretty much how we've seen a very similar situation with the Jets in particular. So no real reason to
Yeah,
think this will be too different.
absolutely.
Another couple of young players that are potentially on the move, but not at the moment. We know that this was offered in the offseason, and it sounds like it's been re-offered. Toronto offering to Columbus Nick Robertson for Yegor Shinnikov, and Columbus turned it down yet again. Uh,
Yeah,
Makes
yeah.
sense, but
This one only came out
also
the other day, but
it's kind of surprising because Nick Robertson's actually looked really good. Like I understand why Toronto would have
mhm.
offered this again because Chitikov looks like he's going to be good and can play a bit more of a depth role.
Well, didn't
Nick
Shinnikov
Robert,
he wanted out too? Wasn't he the one that requested a
yeah,
trade?
yeah. Um, and Robertson, I believe, has also requested a trade, or at least there's been rumors about it. But he's looked really good with the Leafs so far this year. So
Yeah, it's kind of one of those trades that seems to make a lot of sense for both sides. Kind of two players that I think are quite have the potential to be quite good, but there's just not they're not getting as much. There's they're it's just not working, I guess, necessarily where they're at. It's
pretty
working a bit
much,
more for Nick Robertson in this scenario. Um and again, like I do kind of understand why Columbus necessarily doesn't want to. And the biggest thing kind of is like Chinnikov is, he's 6'1", 205 pounds, whereas Nick Robertson's a bit on the smaller side.
right?
And so like if Columbus, if you're looking to make the playoffs and you want to maybe bring in more of an impact player, Chinnikov could be a decent bargaining chip in a deal like that. Uh so I understand it for all the reasons why Toronto would. For Columbus, like I do understand why they they wouldn't.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense why they would turn it down. Um, Chinnikov, at least at the time of recording, is listed as on the fourth line for the Blue Jackets.
He's played 15 games.
15 games. So, because he was a healthy scratch quite a few times to start the season, I think when they were not sure if he was going to be traded or not. Just bringing up his stats here. How similar are their
On this
stats?
season, Chinnikov's
Yeah,
played 15 games, 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points,
yeah.
and a minus
Robertson,
2.
20 games, 5 goals, and 11 points, and a -3.
Wait, sorry,
Honestly,
what were his stats again? Robertson's?
20 games played, 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points, and a -3.
Okay. And I think Robertson's been mostly third line
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Toronto, I think, around there.
He might have drawn into a couple games in that top 6, but no extended times, I don't think.
Yeah.
But honestly, I thought Chinnikov's stats looked a little bit better in like some of the older years in his career. But like, look at the past 3 seasons. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't say yes to it. Honestly, like obviously he's a bit smaller, but he's been fighting to get in this lineup, and he's only played 56, 69, and then obviously 20 this year for games. So he's not even in the lineup for the full season. But 14 goals, 27 points, 15 goals, 22 points, all while being in and out of the lineup in bottom six roles. Like those are pretty decent
It's not
numbers.
bad, but I mean, you still look at Chinnikov. I mean, his second year, he only played 30 games because he's kind of back and forth between the NHL and AHL. 13 points in 30 games, so say 82 games on average for about, around that 40-ish mark. The following year, 29 points in 53 games. Last year, only played 30 games. Didn't go to the AHL though, so just only played 30 games flat. 15 points. So he's throughout most of his career so far with Columbus, he's kind of been around that 40-ish point mark if he were to play a full season.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad, but again, it's one of those things of guys just kind of keep overtaking him in the lineup, and they've kind of made their mark to stay there. Like Kirill Marchenko is, I mean, he's kind of one of the more underrated
money,
players in the league now, in my opinion.
For my money, he's the most underrated player in the league currently.
Voronkov has passed him, and you still got Kent Johnson, you got Cole Sillinger, you got Adam Fantilli, and when you have that many young players, what do you have to do? You have to put veterans around them. You've now got Miles Wooden there, Sean Monahan, Charlie Coyle. You still have Matthew Olivier, who you kept around. So
Charlie Coyle's been a very nice addition for them this year. Low key,
hasn't been bad. Still don't love the trade for Columbus overall, but Charlie Coyle has looked very good. But again, it's one of those things of they have so many good young players that have kind of overtaken Chinnikov, and you have to still have veterans. Look at Anaheim. What's the difference between the last few years and this year? They actually have some veterans in their top nine. It's not who's your oldest player in your top nine. Well, he's 24. All right, have fun out there. Good luck.
It's the blind lead the blind. Yeah, you need somebody with that experience and everything. And
but again, I think the biggest thing is Columbus
Jenner on IR again for him.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for Columbus is maybe just looking at a little bit bigger instead of just a 1-for-1 to then is Nick Robertson just on your fourth line, or do you use Chinnikov and something to maybe get more of an impact guy on that second line instead of like a Miles Wood, or something like that. I think it's kind of maybe more of the thought process for Columbus.
Yeah. No, it's fair.
Hey,
Man, they've done a nice job. They've got all their young guys are still upcoming RFAs. I'm interested to see when they get some of these long-term deals signed in Columbus. Like what next this upcoming offseason, what a Voronkov, a Marchenko, a Kent Johnson, like what if Adam Fantilli can get an extension this year, like what all those extensions look like.
Yeah.
By this time next year, they might have their entire future locked up.
They might have their core guys locked up, absolutely. The Dallas Stars. Mikko Rantanen did not, because they've already played since, did not receive any disciplinary action for his boarding penalty on Islanders defenseman Alex Romanov. Kind of surprised by this one, honestly. I thought it maybe at least just one game for the sole fact that it was within, with only 30 seconds left in the game.
A lot of people...
It'd be at least one.
I guess to set the stage for those who haven't seen it yet, Islanders, Stars playing, about 30 seconds left. Islanders are up by 1. It's 3-2, I believe. And with those 30 seconds left, the Stars... Basically, I don't know if they iced the puck or if it was just a dump in. I don't know if they were...
I think it was just a dump in, yeah.
Yeah, before or after the red line. But they were coming down to the puck, and at maybe a little bit before they get to the goal line, the red line at the end of the ice, Rantanen pushed Romanov from behind, and he went into the boards. Honestly, it wasn't crazy, like at a horrible angle. It was just the sheer speed he was going. He went down to his knees and just kind of went body first into it, but he might have broken his collarbone, separated shoulder or something.
Yeah, they haven't said what the injury is yet for Romanov. He is on IR already. yeah, they're getting a second opinion, which leads me to believe that surgery is on the table,
Yeah.
which obviously isn't good. As far as I know, the reason Rantanen didn't get a suspension is because he was tied up with
Yeah. I was going to
Scott
say.
Mayfield, and that's kind of what led to it. But again, sure, you could argue that, but at the same time, that doesn't excuse Rantanen for the full two-hand push to Romanov
Yeah,
when they're already going down. Like
he was
it was a
off
voluntary
balance
action.
a bit, but yeah, he still, he didn't fall into uh he didn't fall into Romanov, like he
Mm,
still pushed him. So
yeah,
it feels like it's just one of those situations where, like, you're not incredibly at fault, but like, i- if a driver hits a pedestrian, you still hit a pedestrian. So I I
yeah.
I really do wish he got at least one game suspension just for a, like, around the league, like, don't fucking do this. We don't condone this. And I
Mm.
hate the argument. I hate it so much. Well, he got kicked out of the game. That's his one game right there. Bro, he got kicked out for 30 seconds left in the game. A 2-minute tripping minor would have got you kicked out for the same amount of time. Like, it's not that's not a
Yeah.
game. Like, we
And so
can't we
obviously,
can't count
you
that.
know, Rantanen doesn't have a history of being a dirty player, and Dallas Stars fans obviously weren't happy with the call, and then they weren't happy with the goaltender interference. At the end of the day, it's goalie interference. Yeah, maybe Robertson, because I think it was Robertson that was going in. Maybe he got
I think
pushed,
so.
but at the end of the day, Robertson also was kind of making a beeline straight towards the crease. And
I was
if it's a
surprised it came back.
50-50, if it's a 50-50 call after what Rantanen did, it's probably not going to go in your favor. That's just
Yeah.
the way it works, you know. Again, I thought it was goalie interference. Yeah, maybe. I think Robertson was pushed a bit, but at the same time, he was actively driving towards the crease and wasn't making an effort to move out of the way either himself, which I think was kind of the determining factor that the refs used
Yeah.
on that. It was just a
Kind
very
of.
chaotic, like, final 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what Brody's talking about here, referring to, is after that happened. So now obviously the Islanders are on the power play. So now they have a power play with one goal lead with 30 seconds left. The Stars obviously pull their goalie and in with like a second left, score
Yeah, I
a
think it was
goal that
point
is
one on the clock.
like either waved off or they say it's a good goal. Either way, the league is auto reviewing it. Um, it's I feel so weird about it because watching it, I very much wanted it to not count. Um, just with what happened with Romanov, I just didn't like it, and I was like, you know what, just no, just give the Islanders the win, and that's what ended up happening.
Mhm.
On a technical level, I don't think that should have been goalie interference. Um,
But Robertson, the difference is those Robertson
well,
didn't make an effort to move out of the way at all.
no, but he wasn't at a point where he needed to yet. Like, he's driving towards the net, but he's not in the crease yet. And he keeps going. He's not in the crease yet. He's still going to the net, but he's not in the crease yet. You move out of the way when you have to. And at the point where he would have, you would assume, turn away and not bulldoze the goalie. Now he's at the point where he can't because the defenseman is leaning on him and pushing him in.
But
So,
the
like,
defenseman was staying out of the crease. That's the thing.
true, but
You
he was
can't
like,
drive towards the.
guarding the edge of the crease. He like kept
That's
Robertson
that's
in the
fine
crease at
though,
that point.
because as a forward, you're not supposed to fly into the crease and be like, I'm getting with the goal, but now I'm going to move out of the way. The defenseman played a that was a great move. If you see a guy driving towards the crease, you're not going to be like, okay, I got to lean back, so I got to give him room to get out. No, if he tries to go, he's going to bump into the goalie. I didn't do anything wrong because I'm staying outside of the crease. That's a smart play. I mean, you kind of put your goalie in
I just
harm's
don't
way,
love
but
that.
but
I
it's
would
a
much
smart
prefer it
it's
was
a
the
smart
other.
play though.
Well, sure, it's a smart play, but that, I mean, let's be real. Hockey's going to be the
It's
best sport in the world when it's finished. I'd
it's
love to see it
but that
someday.
there's nothing wrong with that. If you can't just give the guy the lead
I
when
don't want
and
it to be a good play when a guy is pushing someone into the crease. That's just never a good idea. Obviously, the goalie didn't get hurt here, but like, I wish it was way smarter to
Maybe
position
not
yourself
maybe
inside
not
and
the
push them the fuck
push.
out of it.
Yeah,
You
maybe
know?
not the push, but if because I think it was Ryan Pulock, you also can't go
I think so.
alongside and be like, "Oh, you're in the crease. I now have to remove myself and let you get a free flyby
No.
because you want to get in there and get right in the goalie's crease." Like the push was probably unnecessary, but at the same time, you have to stay with your guy, and if he wants to go in the crease, you'll be like, "All right, if you bump into me now when you try to leave, that's not on me because you." As a forward, you're usually not supposed to just fly right through the crease because again, you run that chance for goalie interference. If you hit the goalie outside of the crease, so more times than not, it seems there's not going to be goalie interference. But anytime you mess with the goalie when you're inside the crease, they're going to call it every time. Well,
Yeah.
almost every time. There's the occasional times that they do miss, and those ones are bad. But yeah, I thought it ended up being the right call. It was kind of a weird end to the game, but
It was because it was also a Dallas home game. So
yeah,
obviously the crowd, like no crowds. Well, the vast majority of crowds are not cheering for an injury like that, especially against a player of little consequence to the Stars. They have no beef with Romanov, to my knowledge. Out of
that
conference
game in
matchup,
March
like,
will be a bloodbath now. Uh,
well, and so
Patrick Waugh, Islanders head coach, who was caught on the hot mic telling Rantanen that
that's my
you're
next
not going to
question.
finish that game in
Should he be
New
suspended?
York,
Should he be
and
fined?
no. The only
I
reason
don't
is
know.
because you can't fine a guy for getting caught on a hot mic because stuff like that gets said well, not every game, but like a lot of games that kind of stuff is said. So you can't
Yeah,
fine a guy just
between
because he happened to get
players.
caught on it.
Between
No,
players.
coaches have done it before and haven't been fined for it.
Have they?
There's nothing wrong with that. Like Patrick Waugh's not going to go out there and fight him. He's
No,
going to
but
say
he's
to
the
his guys,
coach.
"Hey, you
You
go out there and do this," and
like
it's up
I
to the
am
player. The player
I
might, the
hate that
player
I have
might
to
not.
take this side of the argument because I am the biggest proponent of, for the love of God, let these guys have personality and stuff like that. But the coach has got to be held to a different standard. Like, yeah, a head coach saying, "I'm going to have my players injure you." Like, he didn't literally say that. He said 95% of it. He said, "You're not going to finish that next game we play against you." That is a threat. Like, he is threatening Mikko Rantanen. Like, the players, like you said, like dozens of times a game on both sides. They're all saying, "I'm going to beat the shit out of you" constantly. But for a coach to be like,
No, so
"Next
that's what
time
I'm
we
saying
play,
is
you're
I
going to
get
get
what
injured."
you're saying,
That's
but
psychotic.
then if you're going to fine him, you probably then have to implement. You now have to have microphones, on the coaches at all times to review
No.
them. Is the thing as what I'm saying is you can't fine just because he happened to get caught on a hot mic because this stuff has probably been said by other coaches times before. Like I don't have examples necessarily because we don't get these hot mic moments.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. And again, you can also look at it. It's ramped up adrenaline. You literally just watched your defenseman get slammed from behind the boards, potentially done for the season, and
Yeah.
you're mad, you're fired up. Like I get it, and
Oh, no, I 100% get why Wah did it, and frankly, I loved it in real time because, I was even saying in the hockey group chat where, like, that's a coach you run through a freaking wall for. Like, I have not been a
yeah.
huge fan of his coaching style in Long Island, but I love him behind the bench.
Or on the flip side,
I
just
love him as the
suspend
figurehead.
Rantanen and then fine Wah. But you can't do one without the other.
Yeah.
That would have been the
Yeah,
simple way to do
honestly
it. Is
honestly, yeah.
Rantanen gets 1 or
My
2 games,
best
Patrick Wah gets
outcome,
fined
yeah.
5,000 for swearing at him or whatever you want to
Honestly,
call it.
that would have been my preferred outcome. A 1 to 2 game suspension for Rantanen and a fine, but not a suspension for Waugh, I think would have been the best outcome, just to settle it a bit. Just because it's funny because I don't think the league. It sounds like I haven't heard anything that they're going to do anything about Waugh saying that stuff.
No,
But
I think if they did, I think it would have already
it would have already come out. Like, they don't need to
Yeah,
think about it. There's nothing to
would have already
review.
been
It's
done.
words, right?
Yeah.
But I do think it's interesting that nothing's coming out of it, and it's Patrick Waugh. This guy, as a player and a head coach, has tried to jump benches to the other side and beat the shit out of guys off the ice. Like, he's from the 90s. They're built different, man. Like, they're insane, right? And he's one of the most competitive guys in history. He's got fucking like 3 Conn Smythes or something. So I think he didn't get anything because it's a little expected of him, you know? I think John Tortorella doesn't
Maybe.
get anything. Like, imagine John Cooper says this when the Panthers and Lightning are playing. I feel like he catches something, you know? Like, I feel like a lot of the coaches that are generally more reserved, if this was more out of character for them, I feel like there are a couple of coaches around the league that would have caught something for it, you know?
Yeah, potentially. Absolutely. I think that's a possibility.
And I
But
mean,
but I will
that's
say
just
that's
perception.
on the
Like, I'm not
fault
saying
of
it's
the if that is the case, that's the fault of the league. That's not the
100%.
fault of the coaches. Because I know
Oh, no,
people
that's
will be
definitely
like,
the league. Yeah.
are blame him on. It's like that's who he is. That's a coach that cares about his players. And at the
Yep.
end of the day, I'm sure, and I know Rantanen apparently texted Romanov. Romanov didn't respond, and people are mad at Romanov. It's like, well, yeah, if a guy, and take it for what it is, tried to injure you and did, yeah,
Bro,
would you want to respond and say, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
fuck all good, man. I'm getting surgery. I'm missing the rest of the year. But yeah, I'm glad to know you're like, who gives a fuck? He's
It's
probably sitting
on
in the
Rantanen
hospital
to
trying to
reach out.
figure
It's
out.
not on Romanov to respond. If
Yeah,
Romanov responded and said "fuck off, you prick," I would have been like, "That's a little unnecessary." But to leave him on red, that's fine. That's
yeah,
fine.
just don't respond because he's probably like, and that's the thing, right? Is whether people think it's right or wrong. At the end of the day, the Islanders are probably circling that game against Dallas, and it is all the way until late March. But
They play each other twice a year. It's just a random Western Conference, Eastern Conference matchup. That game's gonna sell out now. That game's gonna fucking sell out in
who
Long Island.
I can't remember if it was last season or the year before. The guy in Nashville, LaRue, I think it was.
Zach LaRue.
He did like some dumb shit against Minnesota.
Minnesota.
And Minnesota was very clear after the game. They stated like, we're coming after you, which by the way, no one on the Wild got fined for. And we talked about it similar to this, and we said it's going to go one of two ways. LaRue is either going to fight at the start of the game and take his licks, and then everything's it's all good, it's all settled. Or he doesn't, but then he's got to keep his head up all night. What did he do? He dropped the mitts at the start of the game. He fought. I think he actually held his own, and yeah. And
I
so,
think he did end up winning the fight, which was not as cathartic as people wanted.
Oh yeah, because
did he fight
he ended up actually fighting someone below his weight class because he wouldn't, because obviously he wasn't going to fight Marcus Foligno, and I don't blame him. Like, I don't blame him for that.
Maybe Foligno. I mean, for that, maybe Foligno should have just kind of mugged him a little,
Maybe.
I think he slew-footed a guy. I don't remember the exact.
Yeah, that's what it was. He slew-foot Spurgeon.
Right, it was the one that took out Spurgeon.
So I think it's kind of similar with Rantanen, and when the game comes around, he can either drop the mitts and fight, whether it's Scott Mayfield, maybe Romanov wants to, get revenge for himself. He can either fight, or it's now everybody's on the table.
I don't think the Islanders can have Romanov fight him just because.
Probably not, but like
probably not. But like,
it wouldn't surprise me if Romanov is, because Romanov could be back in like a month, and then he'll be like, "Hey guys, I know you guys want to, but you know what? I'm gonna do it for myself." And Romanov's a tough customer. Like he's a big boy too.
Yeah, that'd be a tilt. Like Rantanen's also a big dude. It's just,
I think it's one of those things. I'm
just thinking of the worst case scenario where the vibes are at an all-time low because he comes back from injury, fights the guy who did it at home, and then he gets beat up.
And then he gets his shit rocked. And
I do have my money on him in that fight, frankly. But
again, it's one of those things where it's, if Rantanen goes out there and just drops the mitts, all is probably all good. They serve their 5 minutes, and then it's hockey as usual. But if he doesn't want to, then it's now everybody's on the table to, for that.
Do you know if there's a good website to check that? Like Career Fights? How many fights?
No clue.
Like, is that something I could Google? How many fights does Mikko Rantanen have?
Oh, I'm sure if you Googled it, it would probably tell you. I don't know if there's necessarily like an actual proper website
Well, that's what I'm
for
looking
it.
for because I know AI is going to tell me he's had like 400 fights in his last 2 games.
Yeah, most likely. Probably.
Hockeyfights.com. My king, where are you? Latest
Probably.
fights.
I think he's got a couple. Not many though.
It's either not loading or he has none. Nothing's showing up on his latest fights, his top fights. His fight record just says advertisement. Doesn't actually have an ad. I guess that's my ad blocker. Duh.
Oh, I'll let you maybe keep looking through that, but we
Yeah.
should move on for
AI also says he has
next
0
time here.
fights, so I'm gonna assume he has no fights.
Okay. The news under the Rantanen one, I'm gonna save for a bit. I'll bring that one up because that goes in good with something here.
Sure.
The Calgary Flames, not much to say on this, but might as well throw it out there. The Calgary Flames will be loaning defenseman Zane Parekh to Canada for the World Juniors.
This is a great call, right?
Yeah, and this is exactly what we thought it was gonna be. Once he played that, 10th game to stick around, we kind of assumed that he would go to the World Juniors at least.
Yeah, like I don't believe he's drawing into every game at this
Well,
point.
he's been
but
injured the last bit.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, he's only played in 11
He's been
games
out
this
with an
year.
injury. Yeah,
He's
because
been
he played his
injured.
10th, got injured in his 11th, and then hasn't played since. And yeah, this is exactly kind of what you want because again, with Calgary, you're not making the playoffs. Like let's just be real about it. And it gives
I don't think
you a
Flames
good
fans
chance
want to make the
for
playoffs. Even if they went on a
yeah.
Cinderella run, I think
Well,
they
no,
would
so
just
that
be
was the
pessimistic and
thing.
be like, "That's going to put us back." And I mean, it's true.
It's kind of a tough spot for Flames fans because I've seen it both sides. Some are like, yeah, we want to, we want to tank, we want to get McKenna, we want to retool or rebuild. But then you still have some of those diehard Flames fans that they're like, I want to see one more playoff run in the Dome. I want to experience playoff hockey in the Saddle Dome one final time.
It is pretty cool.
So it's like you're kind of, they're
That's
kind
fair.
of back and forth, and it's like I understand both sides of it, like absolutely.
Oh yeah,
For Zane Parekh, it's he didn't get to go play for Team Canada last year when he probably should have.
absolutely should have.
And it's a good chance for him to build up some confidence because I think his confidence is kind of not quite at an all-time high due to the start of the season with the Flames. So I think it works out well for both sides. Like I don't see any issue with this whatsoever.
Yeah,
And
no,
it'll be
and
fun. And it's good for Team Canada because you
yeah,
don't
and
get
it's
Matthew
good
Schaefer,
for
you're
Team
not getting
Canada.
Sam Dickinson. You need someone like Zane Parekh back there.
And it's just going to be good for him because, even before he played that 10th game, it was kind of scratch, playing, scratch, play. Like when he comes back from
Yeah.
injury, I don't think he's going to play every game. I think they're planning on playing him like kind of 2 of every 3 games ish, Like I think they
Yeah.
want to manage that load on him, but
And that's fine.
you don't have to load manage him at all with this because they are only load managing because they're worried about him, playing against the bigger bodies in the NHL. Maybe not quite at that
Yeah.
level yet. Against the World Juniors, they're like, play him 29 minutes a night, dude.
Yeah.
Like he can do it. He can do it all at that level. So I think
Absolutely.
it'll do nothing but help his development.
Yeah.
There is approximately 0% chance this happens, and you've brought it up on the show before, and
Oh,
I
I brought
never
it up.
thought of it until then. And
Okay.
my God, do I want it so bad? It will never happen. But it's just really funny. I fucking love the idea of Macklin Celebrini playing at the World Juniors so much.
He's
I
eligible
lo-
for the World Juniors and for the Olympics. He could represent Team Canada in
he
the World
could.
Juniors and then a month and a half later be playing for him at the Olympics.
Like, oh man, it'd be so funny for him to be a top 3, top 5 player in the NHL in scoring and be like, I'm gonna go farm these fucking kids. And he goes out. He's literally like up there with like Nathan McKinnon and like Connor McDavid in
I
points
think
right now.
he would shatter Bedard's records that he was setting a couple
Would
years ago.
he would pound the
Demolish.
shit out. I would genuinely not be surprised if he finished the tournament with 5 points a game or more. He's literally at the top of the NHL right now, and those guys are goddamn children, literally
on a
children.
pretty
Like,
bad. I don't want to say bad. I can't say awful now,
he could
which is
literally
good.
set his minutes.
But
He could be the coach. It would be
yeah,
so funny.
when he's on a,
It would be
and
such a
again,
mismatch.
I'm not going to say they're awful, but a bad Sharks team. They're not awful now, but they're still more on the bad side. And he's doing this now. He's playing on, again, what I think is going to be the best team in the World Juniors. You're on the top team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would farm. And then be like a couple months later, all right, now I'm going to go to the Olympics and play for Team Canada. Like,
Yeah.
Incredible.
I
would love
great
it. but it's
9 point
obviously never
night.
gonna
You want to
happen.
go to a team dinner? Nah, I'm gonna go practice with Crosby later, Dink. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It would be something if we were able to
just go
to get
Aura
that.
farm in the World Juniors for no reason. It'd be so funny.
Hey, I respect it.
Scout a couple of the young guys if they haven't been drafted.
Yeah.
Bro,
Get some
force
ins
your
with some of them.
just going around like, hey, just like straight up being like, force your way to San Jose. It fucking rocks there, dude.
Yeah.
Don't even be shy about it. Just straight up tamper with it.
Couple more news here before we get into something that I'm very excited to run here at the end. Your boy JT Miller. I know you wanted to touch on this one.
Yeah. Okay. For those of you who have not seen the clip yet, it was going around quite a bit 2 or 3 days ago. JT Miller and the New York Rangers were playing against Vegas, I believe in Vegas, I want to say.
I think it was in Vegas, yeah.
And the score was 1-0 Vegas. And I believe it was about 3 or 4 minutes into the second period. So it's not a close game. And it's not near the end of the game. And it's not near the end of the game. When I saw this clip, I thought, surely we're near the end. And surely it's 4-0, 5-0. Like, surely this is a blowout. This is JT Miller, the guy who fights with a bunch of teammates because he is so passionate. He preaches work and effort over everything. And I'm not going to do this justice. It's going to sound like I'm exaggerating. I promise you I'm not. The puck is coming along. So it's on the right side from where the hard cam usually is. In the Ranger zone. JT Miller has the puck close to the boards on the close side. He's fighting for it. And I believe it's Pavel Dorofeyev, or it's Tomas Hertl who passed it to Dorofeyev, who takes the puck from him, and he goes completely vertical. His knees lock. Like, when the whistle blows and all the guys with momentum do the like leg straight, very slight turn and do the big wide circle. He has that exact body posture. And
yeah, it wasn't good.
It's not even, and he just the puck is right in front of him on Hertl's stick. Hertl's like 2 feet away from him. He's still within poke checking distance. And he just stands up and just watches Hertl skate away in his own zone past to Dorofeyev. The Knights are now up 2-0. And like, man, you brought this guy in and you made him captain. That's your captain, dude. If I cannot fathom how irate I would be if I was the head coach of that team. I would have ripped his jersey off his back and yelled at him in front of everyone to get to the back and be out of the arena before the intermission. I would have been like, I don't want to see you for a day. Like, I legit would have stripped him of the C on the bench right there. That is crazy unacceptable.
It was bad. It's not worthy of stripping the C off him, and I only say that because the Rangers legitimately don't have another option for a captain.
So you run without a captain. That's the kind of like, I don't like throwing this around lightly. That's locker room cancer. Like, that's bad.
Okay. No,
that poisons a team.
No, it's not. No.
I can't picture any other captain in the league doing something close
so Evan
to that.
Bouchard is a locker room cancer.
He's not the captain. He's not the guy preaching about effort and work. He's not the guy who's going to come around and turn this
I
culture
know,
around.
but
Like,
it's not locker room cancer. Like it's a bad look, it's a bad play. But a locker room cancer is a player that actively makes your locker room worse, makes your team worse, makes players around them
that's what I'm
make the
thinking
entire
here.
team worse. JT Miller is still one of the better players on the Rangers. He might be leading the team in points. I don't know for sure, but he's up there.
I
It was a
genuinely think
bad
he
look.
makes
It
his
was a
teammates
bad play,
worse.
absolutely. But
Like,
all right,
I
well,
think
we
with
can agree to disagree
I think with
on
the
that.
amount of
I
skill
think
he has, it at least comes out in the wash because he does definitely and reasonable cap hit too. Uh, he adds to the team enough generally that it would at least come out in the wash. I don't think he's a net negative for the team overall, but I do think
so.
there's a
What
lot
about
of
in the
guys that he
playoffs
is
last year
hurting.
when McDavid was straight up on the back check and not back checking, and they got scored on? Is that locker room
No,
cancer stuff that he was demonstrating? It's like, no,
no,
it's not.
no, because
It's a bad play,
because
but
there's two players in every play like that doing that. You know, there's the 2D getting back, there's the third forward, and then there's two guys that are mostly upright. Like, he was
yeah,
right beside the puck, man. It's right
I
there.
do
Like,
agree
it's
it's a bad
crazy.
play, but I'm not gonna throw around the locker room cancer. Admittedly, absolutely though horrific
Like that's the
play,
kind of thing where
absolutely.
I would be so beside myself if I'm anyone on the bench. I'm like, what?
Well,
I can't
so
yell at this guy.
he,
He's my vet. He's the captain. But like,
mhm.
holy fuck, what did I just watch?
Well, so
Like,
the
who do
only
I
thing I
tell
was
about
gonna
this?
say on the play, um, is I think JT Miller's still a guy that's I think he probably does still end up going, but he's kind of one of those guys that's back and forth on will he go to the Olympics, won't he? Well, who's got a front row view of that? His own head coach is Mike Sullivan, who will be the head coach for the Americans
Yeah.
in the Olympics. So,
And his
uh,
selling point is often defense too, right? Like, obviously he's a good scorer, but like, you know, everyone going to the Olympics is going to be a good scorer. Like, uh,
I still think he does end up going, but I think if there was a little bit of doubt around him, I think that definitely added onto it with his play there. Absolutely.
yeah. Um,
I
if we're
think
going to talk
JT
about it,
Miller's still
we might as well do our due diligence.
a
22 games
good player,
played,
and
6 goals, 6 assists, 12 points, a -7. Only
honestly,
6 penalty minutes.
on a dog shit Rangers team, that's about what I expected.
I guess, but
Wait, how many
that's like
goals do you say he had?
6
I
and
don't
12
know if that
points.
was updated because I thought last night he had 2 goals. I think.
It might be including that. I don't know how quick
Oh,
Hockey
it
DB
is.
usually
Okay, never mind. Yeah, yeah,
updates
yeah.
it.
For some reason, I thought he got 7 and 8 last night. Okay, so 5 and 6 he scored last night.
Well, so he's not playing great defensively right now, and he's on pace for about 40 points. There's a lot of good players
It's a
that could
bad,
be on that American
bad
team. Like,
Rangers team. But
it's
again,
such a rough year
this,
for an American or Canadian to have a down year. Because if you're a great Swedish player and you have a down year, like as long as you have the pedigree, right, you're still
mhm.
probably making the team. These two teams are so contested. I
And
think
the
there's a
only
very
reason I
good chance he still
say,
goes. I think there's a
yeah, the
very good
reason
chance
I
he still
say he's
goes.
probably still going is because he's probably, on the fourth line. And when you're debating, you're like, oh, do we take Cole Caulfield or JT Miller? Like, if you're debating between those kind of guys, you're probably leaning JT Miller just more because he's more on the veteran side and he fits better into a fourth line role type
Yeah,
of thing, which is why I think he kind of ends up. I think he does still end up going, but it's because he's a better fit for like a fourth line role
for the
as
bottom
opposed
6 roles.
to some
Yeah.
other guys. Yeah. Uh, Something worse than what JT Miller did. I think this is our last
Yep.
bit of real kind of major news. Um, what's his name? This is Bozo's name. Uh, Luke Dragus. Luke Drag. I'm just gonna call him. I don't know how to fucking pronounce that name.
Lukey D.
Yeah, Lukey D. Plays for Brampton in the OHL. Has been suspended. This was as of this morning. Suspended for the remainder of the 25-26 regular season and playoffs as a result of his actions, which he got a match penalty for slashing. So he's done for the entire year. Apparently, he's going to appeal it. He has to apply for reinstatement to the league if he plans on coming back, which I don't know if he will. And this all came from a two-handed slash he delivered to an opponent's head.
It's the closest we've come to a straight up. Yeah, it's the closest we've come to a straight up Marty McSorley ass assault on ice than we've seen in a long time. Like, people look at the the Romanov thing, and it's like, that's vicious. It's reckless. It's not quite criminal. It's still many parts of it. There's multiple things you can point out where it's like there's a hockey play somewhere in there. Even kind of, right? This is like, I don't know I don't think the whistle had gone. I think the play was still going, but like puck is
I believe so, yeah.
Puck is fuck off wherever. I think one of them cleared it from behind the net, so it like rimmed around. It's like at the blue line heading the other way. They're both doing that thing where they loop around behind the net. And Luke Dragusika, I'm going to assume is pronounced.
Lukey D.
He just fucking two-hands this other kid in the fucking head. He just straight up attacks him. He assaults him. He kind of looks like he's going to go for like another hit when he's on the ground for a second. I don't think he does, but like...
He doesn't, but I think there was the thought of doing it.
He was going to, but he at that point I think he realized with all the refs got over there pretty quick. The crowd was not happy. Like nobody was happy, right? So like I think the immediate energy shift in the arena helped him not be a psycho and go for the second one. Is just unacceptable, man. And there's another reason we're not caring too much about the name is there's a good chance you'll never have to hear this name again unless it's an update on this situation, because he's a depth player in the OHL. There's even without this suspension and stuff, there is a good chance this guy would never make it to the AHL, let alone the NHL. He's going to miss out a lot of development time. We'll see if he even gets back to the OHL, if he gets reinstated next season. This is very likely the end of his professional hockey career, or at least in North America. Maybe he goes plays Finland or whatever. But
yeah, I don't have much more on. I think it's obviously a reckless, stupid play.
Has there been an update on the guy hit?
I haven't heard anything. I think Buddy should just be happy that he's not, dealing with actual assault charges. Like
he should be dealing with the police, frankly. Like,
yeah. So I think the fact that he's only getting a suspension from playing hockey, I think he got off pretty damn lucky, because vicious play, total intent to injure. There was because it was not a hockey play in any capacity.
No,
it was just straight up wanting to injure someone in a violent manner, and that's exactly what he did. So
okay, I got it up here. I just
warranted.
rewatched it. He does get him a second time when he's on the ice.
Oh, does he?
He chops him in the side of the head. He goes down, and while he's down, it's not a two-hand slash, but he goes down. He cross checks him in the back while he's not doing the turtle thing either. This guy's like laying on the ice hurt because he just got hit in the fucking head, and teammate comes over and fights for him.
Absolutely warranted to be suspended for the entire season.
This guy's team does not want to defend him either. You can see it in the clip.
Why would you?
They're like all trying to grab their dance partner, and they're like, "No, you can beat the shit out of it." Like that's you have to be real good friends with a guy to stand by him after that kind of shit.
Yeah. And again, even if he implies
2 minutes remaining in the third, as well,
doubt the league will even let him back. Be like, why?
Yeah,
like, there's no need for you're not a hockey player at this point. You're honest should have a criminal record after something like this. But good on the OHL for laying down the hammer. A lot of rumors were suggesting it was only going to be 48 games, and the league just said, you know what, let's just not even have to deal with this. Let's just get him out, get him done, and I think that was absolutely the right call.
Yeah. I'm just looking up an update on Brady Blasek, who's the guy who got slashed. He was cut open pretty bad across his mouth. His face is, quote, pretty severely bruised, but he got stitched up. He didn't lose any teeth, which is frankly incredible. I'm not seeing a ton of other update. It kind of sounds like he's doing fine. I don't doubt
But yeah,
there's
like I didn't
also
hear of any
a
like
concussion.
major crazy injuries. So, but they
Yeah,
probably don't want to broadcast it too much, right?
yeah. And frankly, there's the whole, I don't know how old this guy is. He could literally be under 18. So like these news outlets might not be allowed to talk about it.
Yeah,
Like they have all the
is
rules
also true.
protecting minors and stuff from the media. So,
Just a
but it sounds
very
it sounds like it
awful
wasn't.
situation all around.
Yeah, it sounds like his injuries aren't near as bad as they definitely could have been. So
Could have been from it. Absolutely.
that's definitely good. But
Um, but we can move on from that bit of news, and again, won't even be something we have to come back to. Is Buddy's
yeah,
Buddy's done out of the league and probably won't come back, I assume.
we have the one thing that we skipped over on the news here. Did you want to bring that up now or later?
No, we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Alex Ovechkin. I know you threw us in here. 10th all time in points now, passing Joe Sakic. So Ovi continues to just climb the ranks.
Yeah,
No slowing down. Put up a hat trick the other night.
I would say he had a hattie. It was like 8-4 or something against the Canadians. Absolutely dominated them.
Yeah.
Did well. I was gonna say, did something happen? I guess the Canadians lost their number 2 center, and then the next game their number 2 center again. I was gonna say, like,
Yeah.
what happened to them? Like
And the goaltending has cooled down.
that as well. Like
Specifically from Jacob
they're
Dobes, because he was the one getting all their wins to start the
yeah,
year.
yeah. Montembeau's looked pretty rough so far, but
Um,
yeah,
so
congrats
congrats,
to Ovi.
Ovi. That's
Like
all we can say about it, really, right?
like how high do you think he gets on this all time points?
Probably, I guess, depends how close he is to other guys, because
Well,
you know,
so he's at
still going off the belief that this could be
1643.
his last year.
He's at 1643. The next is over 60 points above him, and that's Crosby. The next
So he's not passing anyone this year.
no, he is 80 points back from Mario Lemieux. Is the next person. Do you think he has another 80 in him in his career?
If he comes back next year, absolutely. To put up
It
80
would have to be
points
another year, yeah.
in this year now, no.
Do you
So
think he comes back? Do you think this is his last year? Do you think he runs it again? He's a tough guy to
I want to
gauge.
believe he comes back next year. But if he really does plan on wanting to go and play in the KHL for a bit to wrap up his career, then I think this probably is the last year.
It kind of feels like it's up to him because he wants to end his career playing for his hometown team in the KHL.
Yeah.
But I do wonder, does he just want to do that, or does he like very much want to win the KHL championship? I don't even know what that's called. Because like if
Yeah.
that's the case, probably now, right? But like if he just wants to go do the circuit afterwards,
Could
he's
stick
got
around.
another 2-3 years in the NHL, and then he can still do 5 more in the KHL. And Ovi at 47 versus the KHL bums. Give me Ovi, man. He'll still produce.
And I think
Good
a
luck to
big
the
part
goalies.
probably is if Washington stays in the fight. Like
Yeah.
I think if Washington, they're still in this year. I think they probably still make the playoffs. But if for
Filip
whatever reason they
Thompson's
don't,
such
and
an elite pickup.
they start to blow it up, then maybe not.
Yeah.
So if he comes back next year, absolutely passes Lemieux. And if he doesn't come back, then he doesn't. He doesn't pass him.
Yep. And then he'd stay at number 10, which still pretty freaking good.
Still not bad. 10th all time. You take that, absolutely.
For those counting at home, he is currently at 907 goals on his career.
907. 907. Last bit of news here before we get into our final segment. Matthew Schaefer. Not much to say on it, but he was added to the Olympic drug testing protocol, which means he's now eligible to be selected for Team Canada.
He's on the radar.
Not a surprise. It doesn't mean he's going, but he's definitely in consideration now, I think, as he definitely should be.
I think he's in
based on
more
his play this
serious
season.
consideration than people think.
Absolutely.
because he's been good enough to be in consideration, right? But he's 18. It would be so easy for the guys to up top to be like, it's Team Canada. We were never going to take an 18-year-old, so we didn't need to invite him to camp, right?
Yeah.
Like it would have been so easy for them to be like, whatever. So I don't think they're doing this at all just for the public to be like, look, we're exploring all options. I think it would have been
Yeah.
easy for them to sweep under the rug. I think they're seriously considering it.
They're definitely considering it. Absolutely.
And,
It's
I feel like a lot of other people are higher on Canada's defense than I am, but like I feel like there's definitely holes on the back end that he could definitely slot into. Like I don't know, I think back
mhm.
to all the Olympic teams we used to have and it was, you know, just killers row. Like it was like, oh, Canada's going to the Olympics. Okay, what 5 future Hall of Famers and one guy who's probably a Hall of Famer are they going to bring? And now we're talking about, is it Uyghur or is it Pareko or Sanheim? Like those guys are
Yeah.
great. I love those guys, but it's not quite what we had before. So I
And
I
don't forget to
definitely
throw
see a
Drew
world
Doughty
where
in there. Drew Doughty's in the
James.
mix. Actually, I think Drew Doughty does make the team, but
I had him as on the team. That's why I didn't even
mm,
throw him in there because I don't know if
yeah,
he should
it's
be at this
not.
point. Frankly, I don't watch a ton of him, but uh, a ton of the Kings. But he's
Yeah,
one of the few guys that was there for a lot of the other Olympic runs. I think just for the veteran presence, they want him.
him
And
and Crosby, the last two
yeah,
remaining.
and it's not, if it's a forward with that experience, well, we have a lot of depth. With the D, like again, not as much. So it's easier for a guy like Drew Doughty to come along at minimum as a healthy scratch.
Absolutely, yeah. Um. So with that, I think we can move into our final segment now. Correct? Oh,
Yes,
I lost my camera.
you lost your camera.
Oh, throw a photo of Gritty there or something.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Gonna get a nice gritty
So
jump scare.
because so we jumped over this because I want to save this for the final segment here.
Okay.
Okay. We had a little bit of a difficulty, but we are good here.
Perfect.
So as we know, Panthers 40 to Luosterainen, he's out week to week after suffering burns during a barbecue accident. This happens not long after Jack Hughes uh, cuts himself on some glass. So it's been a weird week and a half for some certain injuries here.
Like, what in the final
First of all, what are your
destination is
thoughts on?
happening?
Yeah, it's
Like, oh, it's just, I was so just shocked when I saw it because, like, we just saw a one of the most talented stars in the league go down with a pretty big injury uh, off of what people are only describing as a freak accident, where he, like, it still sounds like a fake story almost. He leaned on a glass until it broke. Like, I almost, a little part of me wonders if he was fucking around, you know? Is he just a young hockey guy with a ton of money? He was fucking around, maybe he had a couple drinks, or was it truly a freak accident, you know? Cuz like who le- who leans on a glass? And then now we've got Luosterainen, another great player who severe burns week to week. Like burns are not good, right? Like you, that's a pretty severe burn to be week to week. Like that's 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 just not good. Like, man, you now you gotta have the team chefs like feeding them from now on. Like you're not there. None of these guys gonna be allowed to have forks.
you can't trust guys to be cooking or be around food is kind of the way it seems. And so
Yeah.
obviously a very very weird injury. It's not the first we've seen this season. This is probably only a one-time game unless another weird injury or something happens this year and we can run it back. I've got a bunch of injuries here that I've done up. Instead of two real, two fake, I'm just going to call this real or fake. I've got a bunch
Okay.
of players here and a bunch of injuries and how they got these injuries. And you just got to decide is this actually real or is this just all fake?
Once I heard about this second injury, the Luosterainen one, I thought of a game similar to this because I was just thinking like, or even just a segment where we go through and like look at like surely NFL, MLB, like other sports players have had
Yeah,
goofy stuff
looking
like
through
this
some other
happen too.
leagues would be good actually
So
too.
like,
Might have to do that.
yeah, frankly,
So yeah,
definitely
pretty
could.
simple. You at home can play as well. I'm just gonna read these off, and you just got to decide. Is this real or
Is it real or fake?
fake? Yeah.
All right.
So we'll start off from the top here. Thomas Chabot sprained his ankle playing horseshoes.
Sprained his egg. I mean, so Thomas Chabot, he's been in the league basically the entire time he's been in the league. I've been paying pretty close attention to it. I've never heard of this. I'm going to say this is fake.
You are correct on that one. It is fake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you use Thomas Chabot because he was involved in the teammate hitting him in the face thing? Or he hit
No,
the
he's just
teammate?
one of the first guys I thought of when I was doing it. I
Okay.
was like, yeah, Thomas Chabot, why not?
I
It's
don't
fun.
remember if he was one of the guys involved in that, but that's what I was
Yeah.
first thinking of.
I think he was the one who whacked his teammate in the face, though.
Yeah.
It was Travis Hamonic.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Dustin Penner injured his back leaning forward to eat pancakes.
Oh, no shot you bring out Dustin Penner for no reason. That's real.
That one is real.
That guy fucking loves his pancakes, dude. How hard do you have to lean forward to eat pancakes to injure yourself? And these are guys at like the
You gotta
peak
be
of
going
human
in for 'em.
physical condition. Like
Yeah.
dude, that guy was hungry.
You got to go in for it. Do 2 for 2 so far. Miroslav Satan broke his collarbone blocking a shot playing street hockey.
That's really tough. I could see it happening, but also like I can see him playing street hockey, but like is this madman blocking a shot in street hockey? I think he is. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's real.
It's fake. That's a fake one.
Oh, that's fake.
Finally got you on one. Okay, at least I got you on one. Now I'm happy.
I should have noticed. I was like, man, what psycho is shooting at fucking waist height or higher in street hockey?
No, if you're playing with kids, they can be reckless.
Break collarbone.
Scotty Upshaw tore his rotator cuff fishing.
That's real. He played long enough in Florida.
It's fake.
Damn it.
No, it's not real.
I knew he played for Florida, so I was like, fishing? Easy. Yep.
Eric Johnson tore his ACL in a golf cart accident.
I'm gonna say that's real.
You'd be correct. It is real. He did tear his ACL in a golf cart accident.
I feel like I hear about a decent amount of guys messing up their legs and ankles and stuff while golfing. I don't know if it's the carts or the shoes or something, but
yeah,
I feel like I hear about a decent amount of those.
It happens, yeah.
Well, our dad, like a year ago, messed up his ankle or whatever, getting out of a golf cart. Goes around.
Manny Fernandez hurt his neck while toweling himself off after a shower.
That's fake. He has a guy who towels him off for him.
No, it's real. That one's real. That one is actually real.
Honestly, that's relatable. What was the injury?
He hurt his neck.
Honestly, that's crazy relatable. Hurting your neck, drying off after a shower, like that just humanizes you.
Yeah.
That's real.
What do we got here? We got 5 more. Marian Gabrick pulled his groin playing hacky sack.
No, that's fake, dude.
It's real.
Come on. Gabrick's not playing hacky sack. How old is he? I was like, maybe in like the warm-up like soccer game or something. No shot this dude's sitting there with a foot bag kicking it around.
Pulled his groin doing it.
Yeah, well, he was going for it too. He almost had a high score.
Yeah.
Of like 3.
Jason Arnott injured his leg riding a horse while playing polo.
That's real. That's so
It's
real.
fake,
Oh,
but it's only the player that's
it?
fake. Larry Robinson actually did injure himself, his
Oh,
leg riding a horse while playing polo.
well, if you asked that, I would have said it was if that I knew.
So you are kind of right. Like the
I thought
injury was legit.
I thought you
The
were gonna
injury was
say
real.
the only difference is it was in water polo, not regular polo.
No, with a real horse. Yeah. Brian Leach broke his ankle getting out of a taxi.
Oh, that's fake. That's too easy for you to say. Everyone knows he played for the Rangers.
No, it's real.
Son of a bitch.
It was so simple. It was just straight up real. John Van Beesbrook cut his wrist after sitting on a glass table and shattering it. A little bit of Jack Hughes almost there.
He definitely did that.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, he sat on Cody Glass's dad and got his arm cut up.
Olli Okinen broke 3 fingers while mowing his lawn.
How do you break fingers mowing your lawn, man? What the hell? Dude, these guys are not okay. Oh my god. This is why you need to advocate for every young hockey player to try for the college route so they can go to frickin' school.
Is this one real or fake?
Obviously it's real.
It's fake.
Son of a bitch.
And the last one, Joe Sakic broke 3 fingers with a snowblower.
Oh god. Every time I use logic, the logic changes and it's the other way. I don't know. Fake.
It's real.
Son of a bitch.
But it goes, and that was the last one. But that goes to highlight how there are some crazy injuries that can occur. What was your favorite one?
Oh god. I mean, it was fake, but breaking fingers while lawn mowing is pretty funny. Stepping out of a cab would probably be pretty wild.
When I was doing research, I got a good laugh out of Dustin Penner hurting his back leaning 4 deep pancakes.
Actually, no, that one's a really good. That one and the shower one are pretty
The shower
funny.
one was wild. That one is crazy. While toweling himself off after a shower.
Coach, I don't think I'm going to be able to play today. I was eating some really heavy pancakes this morning.
It's why every team also needs a shower boy, someone to towel you off and protect your neck, man. Got to protect your neck.
Dude, honestly, we should make a game out of this in the future, and we can open it up to all sports, frankly, because that could happen to like a guy playing any sport, right? And just like have one real one and then like 3 or 4 fake ones and see if like all of them laid out if you can pick the real one.
You can figure out yeah. Actually, I would like that. That'd be a good idea.
Because then we can do it for a while because you only need one to find one goofy incident. And then you just make up a couple others.
I get on board with that. That could be something fun to do. But we are at the end of the episode here. We did have a little bit of technical issues, but hey, we're all good. My camera's working still. We're all happy. We're all good. If you want to talk hockey, let us know your thoughts on anything we discussed today. You can do so through any of our socials or on YouTube in the comments. Braden, before I head off into the weekend here, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Make sure 2-3 pancakes on the plate maximum. If you need more, you can go back and get more, but don't overload your plate. You're just going to hurt your back. It's just not worth it. You can go back and get more.
Yeah, totally agree with you on that there. Be careful with your pancakes. But
oh my God.
That is it for this episode one final time. Hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, we will see all of you lovely people out on the ice next week.